7 years ago, Doron Tweg, an experienced and very successful farmer, chose to observe the mitzvah of Shmitah for the first time. He stopped all work in his fields, shut down the source of his livelihood. The one who was responsible for this courageous step was Doron's wife, Ilana, who convinced Doron and supported him in this huge sacrifice to enable them to observe the mitzvah of Shmitah. The Twegs even gave up an annual contract worth over 1 million shekel. We went to meet Ilana and asked her, "How did you do this?" What made you so strong to be able to tell your husband something that you believed in, that you know he didn't necessarily believe in, and just make this decision for the family that this is what we were going to do?
We didn't know really what Shmitah K'Hilchata was all about. And very quickly we realized that this is much, much bigger than just the 6 of us. During that time, especially when Karen Ashvis became involved, there were all kinds of signs. Maybe this is something that we should do. We were thinking that maybe we'd do Shmitah full K'Hilchata in some of the fields, and we were sitting here with the Rebbeim, and they said, "Listen, you can't do half and half. It's all or nothing." And that was the end. He signed the papers, and we went on our journey from there. The first thing that happened is we had produce that was already in the fields planted before the Shmitah started. That became hefker, hundreds of tons of produce that we picked, and they came and packaged, and there was a sticker of hefker on each box, and it was taken to different areas around the country for people to enjoy. But then people started coming. People started, literally knocking at the door. Rabbi Kanievsky, very early on, someone came and said, "Listen, I went to the rabbi for a bracha," and he said, "Go find a Yehudi Shomer Shmitah, a Gibor Koach, and ask for a bracha." And at some point, there were a couple of girls here that also asked me for a bracha. I said, "No, I'm the farmer's wife. It's not me, it's him." He said, "No, we want you to give a bracha." So I said, "Let me take your names. Shabbos, I light my candles. That's my private time, and I'll say your names." Within a few weeks, both of them were engaged, and we were at their weddings, which was, wow. Now have families, we're still in touch with them, which is, the word just spread. We had busloads of seminary girls coming over. It's very difficult to describe. They say v'tziviti et birkati, and they talk about financial gain. And it was very quickly apparent to us that there's a lot more to this bracha, of letting you see how blessed you are. When someone comes and asks you for a bracha, for their most vulnerable personal things, you realize how lucky, how blessed you are, and it was something that I took very, very seriously. By the end of Shmitah, it was, thousands of names, if not tens of thousands of names. Shabbos was spent just praying for people.
At the end of the last Shmitah, having lost their source of income, Doron and Ilana opened a small fruit and vegetable market. The source of this venture was above and beyond anyone's expectations and has grown into a thriving, popular market. With the upcoming Shmitah almost upon us, the Nisayun the Twegs now face is even more difficult than in the previous Shmitah. They will close down another successful business, abandoning their source of income for the second time. Now they are approaching this upcoming Shmitah with great trepidation and with deep concern.
We started the market, we grow our own vegetables, and the idea was to market directly to the people, to cut out the middlemen. And it's been a huge success, which we never planned, we never thought. This wasn't part of our dream. Now with Shmitah, if we're not farmers, if we're not growing, then how are we going, what's the idea here? We thought about it a lot, and we decided that we're going to shut down the market for the year. We also live in a very mixed community, and a lot of people are not going to get it. But a lot of people didn't get it the first time. That's part of the deal. Doron compares going to a second Shmitah like parachuting. And he says when you first jump out of the plane, everything's very, very quiet, and it goes very slowly, and then all of a sudden it goes very, very fast, and you're about to crash. But the second time you jump is much scarier than the first time you jump. I feel like I'm not alone. We're not alone doing this. And yes, it's terrifying. Yes, it's a risk. We're going to be okay.
Join the Neshei Keren HaShvius movement, submit your name for Tfilos and Bracha, and show your support for Alana and the other Gibarot Koach.